What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode number 4 of my weekly update podcast. This time I had Daltoosh as my guest, and we talked about the new season, what we think about the past seasons, and we get to know Daltoosh a little bit better. And yes, this was recorded live on Twitch at twitch.tv/iLootGames. If you want to participate in the next one live, make sure you're following me on Twitch. And if you have a suggestion for who the next guest should be, leave a comment down below. But without further ado, guys, I hope you really enjoy, and I will see you next week. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the podcast. This is Daltouche. Daltouche, you want to introduce yourself to people who don't know who you are?
What's going on, everyone? My name is Daltouche. I guess I'm a content creator for Apex Legends. I'm on Soar Gaming, and I'm pretty much just a glorified pub star. I don't really play competitive, but I enjoy the game. I got some notoriety when I was grinding the leaderboards in season 0, and I was the number 1 lifeline on PS4 for a long time. Then I also got to the point where I had the most kills in the game for about 2.5 months, and that was when there was no ranked and it was only leaderboard. So kill grinding was important back then. I got some notoriety off that. People started checking out my stream. I kept gaming, and bing, bang, boom. A year and a half later, here we are. That's me.
So what was it, or is it Apex when you joined Soar, correct?
Yeah, I joined probably maybe like 6-7 months into Apex. Okay. I don't really remember the exact date or the timeline of it, but they picked me up due to Apex, yes.
And what were you doing before Apex? Which game did you focus on? Or did you not even?
I started my streaming career with Fortnite.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
Yeah, that's interesting. So were you big with Fortnite, or like what were your kind of viewerships? Because a lot of people want to know where the big streamers came from. So like before Apex, what were your views like?
Very small. Like I would have, the only reason I started streaming is because I was good at Fortnite. It was probably like season 3, 4, 5 ish that time, and I was really good. But right when it started to kind of blow up, to the next level, and people started getting crazy with the edits and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I kind of was like, all right, I'm not doing that anymore. I started playing Blackout after that. But I mean, the viewership levels, they were very tiny. I mean, I would have my boys in there watching and then like a few bots. So it was like 8 people, give or take 5,
Yeah. So I think that's important for people to see that while you have like, 3,000 plus people watching you now when you play Apex, just a little over a year ago, you didn't have anywhere near those numbers.
I had none.
Yeah, so I think that's important for people to learn. And so what's it like being part of the SOAR organization? Because we have had Kobe on and we had Jenks on. So now we have another SOAR. And no, I did not seek out SOAR people, guys. It just happened that way. We're supposed to have NRG Rogue on, but then he said he didn't want to go before you. So he dipped out.
Did he say that?
No, just kidding. No,
okay. SOAR is great. I mean, the reason I joined SOAR when I first got the initial offer was because I was a big Call of Duty guy back in the day, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, all of that. And so if you remember, I don't know if you played back then, people in chat probably can vouch, they would come out with these trick shotting videos called Soaring in Style. And I was a huge fan of it. I always looked up to that organization and those people in the org. And so when I got the offer to join, I was like, this is awesome, dude. This is like, I felt like I had made it at that point, So yeah. I joined, and then we got a lot of cool guys in there, a lot of good friends of mine. So I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
And then, so you just hosted a tournament. Can you tell us what that was like?
Hosting the tournament was really fun. I was inspired by Nick Merckx. He's been hosting a lot of his own, Warzone tournaments and stuff like that, big money tournaments. And I was like, damn, how can I do this for Apex? How can I, have my own tournament, but also, just put on something for the community that, everyone could just take a night and kind of watch the high level competition. I could cast and try to be entertaining. So I was inspired by Nick Merckx to do that. It was super fun. I had my boy Sword Daz. He helped me out so much. He did probably 95% of the background work, all the analytics, all the graphics, all the stuff that I probably wouldn't have done. He did it. And it was a great time. I put up $5,000 of my own money in prizing. And it was pretty much just something to give back to the community because they've given so much to me. So It was great.
And then didn't you host, what was it, ALGS, or which one did you host after that, or that you were a
I
caster?
Yeah, I color casted the ALGS online tournament super regional number 4.
And how
Got
was
4.
that? What was that like? So they like give you stuff to put up in your room that you stream from, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so they lob you about like $15,000 worth of equipment.
Uh-huh.
And so I was gonna set it up in my kitchen because I had just moved into this new place. My stream setup is pristine. The cable management is on point. Like everything's clean and crispy. And then they sent me all this stuff, and we were setting it up. And like 4 hours in, it just like wasn't working. Like some of the stuff they sent just wasn't working. So we ended up hijacking my setup and just adding the mixer that they sent, the camera they sent. I put a green screen in. We had a new headset. We had to mess with the audio for like an hour and a half. It was a lot of work setting it all up, but
Mhm.
I did it for kind of the experience in casting as a more professional level caster. Because
Yeah.
when I commentate on my own channel, it's very like laid back. I'm in charge of everything. I whatever I say goes. I'm drinking the whole time. I'm having fun. I'm saying exactly what I want to say. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
So I just did that because Shaheen, I don't know if you know who Shaheen is, but he was like, "Yo, dude, you can do this. Like, I'll put in a good word for you with ALGS." And then a couple emails later, I got invited, and I did it, and it was fun. It was a very good learning experience. I got a lot of respect for the casters that actually do that for a living. It's a lot harder than people give them credit for. So shout out to them.
Yeah, does it feel like there's a lot of pressure to keep on talking, like keep the flow going, or what?
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, I was in more of a backseat role, and I was totally okay with that because it was my first time on a professional, like casting kind of gig. So I was in a backseat role, and the thing that I learned is there was a driver and there was a passenger. I'm the passenger, and so the driver, whoever like the guy on the left was, let's say Fallout, he would pretty much say the important stuff, talk it out, fill in the dead time, and then he would kind of lob a question over to me or ask me for my opinion on something, and then I would catch it. I would catch the question, you know what I'm saying? Give
Uh-huh.
my opinion, give my analytics or whatever, and then I would lob it back to him, and then he would talk and fill in the dead time. And it's really hard to do what they do. I could not have done that. I just kind of answered questions as they were thrown to me and kind of, analyzed the gameplay as it was
Yeah.
shown on the screen. But they have a way harder job than what I was doing. So my job was kind of easy, but it was a learning experience, and I'm glad I did it.
And so speaking of analyzing people, is there a reason why you don't play in pro tournaments?
Um, yeah, I think there's several. One, it takes a lot of time to find the right team and scrimmage with them, day in and day out. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have the time to do that because I do, but it does take a lot of time. I like to do my own thing. I don't like having times and places to be and having to do this and that. I like to do my own thing. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of effort that I don't necessarily want to put in, and tying in to the amount of effort. I don't think the reward, aka the prize pools,
Yeah.
really make it feel worth it if you were to win. I mean, sure, if you win the big one, like the huge one coming up for I don't know how much money, that might feel good, but the odds of you winning that are so slim, and the time you put in, it just doesn't add up after all of that. So that's typically why I don't. I'm also trash. That's the third reason.
Yeah, right.
I'm terrible, and if I played comp, people would stop watching me because they'd be like, "Damn, I thought he was way better, and he's not."
Even though they watch you play in Apex Predator lobbies all day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This top, what was that, top 500 in the world? No big deal. And then,
Barely.
yeah, barely.
Barely hanging on. We're at like 498 right now, probably. I haven't been playing Apex too much this season though.
And then, so Nicewig said that he thought one of the reasons why TSM was kind of, says Kobe, speaking of, he said you do kind of suck. He thought one of the reasons why TSM might be falling down in their consistencies because they're focused a lot more on the streaming aspect. When really, if you want to be those top consistent teams, you got to focus on just killing it all the time and practicing and scrimming. Do you think that's a correlation also? So perhaps since you're so focused on your community, you can't really do that as much if you're trying to be one of the top players.
That could definitely factor into it. I'm not going to say like that's for sure the reason. I mean, because they're all streamers. I mean, they're all competitive players, but they all stream at the same time. However, I would probably say The general competitive scene in Apex has kind of been on a downward trend ever since,
Mhm.
COVID, ever since the Texas land was canceled. I think the scrim quality has gotten way worse, and a lot of teams are just kind of not putting their best foot forward in terms of, scrimming, practicing, taking it seriously. Because there's all these like very small dollar tournaments. I mean, they're all trying very hard and they're doing what they can to participate to the best of their ability in all of what they have to offer right now, which is like these smaller tournaments for not that much money.
Yeah.
But I think generally the competitive scene in Apex has been on a downward trend, and that might have a factor in why TSM isn't maybe succeeding as much. I mean, but there's still I mean, in my opinion, the best team in Apex. I think they're doing great. They're just because they're not winning every tournament doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're necessarily falling. It's a battle royale. You simply can't win all of them.
Yeah. And it was pretty crazy the fact that they did win 5 in a row or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Um, so you do you feel like you get slack for when you give your opinions about the seasons, and then like recently we had those comments after you said you weren't too hyped about this new season. Do you think that's something that a lot of people are maybe too careful about and they're afraid to really speak out because you're probably not going to get that EA sponsorship stream if you speak your mind?
I mean, I've pinched my tongue on. I mean, I said what I said. I was like, yeah, I'm not like I didn't really feel anything when I watched the trailer.
Hmm.
I just kind of watched it and I was like, all right, well, new season coming up. And new seasons are always great. They renew the energy that we all like once had in the past. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
the new season drops, a new update, there's new stuff, there's new guns. You're having fun. But the thing is, it's not about the update. It's never like they never update it and you're like, wow, this sucks. It's usually like, a month in after the update, you're acclimated to all the new changes. It's all there. You're used to it. You've played it 1,000 times already. And then it's like, damn, now we have to wait X amount of months for the next update. And that's when it becomes really, really stale and really repetitive because that is the way it goes. I've been a part of every update. I've been playing this game since literally day one on drop. And that's just how it goes. You wait all this time for an update. It's great for the time being, but then there's no consistent little updates, changes that they have to make. You have to wait for these big drops for any slight problems to be fixed, unless if they're completely game breaking, they simply ignore it for the most part. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like, they've had so many complaints about sound, about like, I mean, the Devo still will fire completely silently sometimes. There's a lot of issues that seem to kind of be brushed over, and they don't address it for whatever reason. And then maybe they'll fix like a rat spot or something in the next patch, and you're like, okay, well, you fixed that. That wasn't really that big of a deal. What about this big issue that's over here? And then it's that inconsistent content that's a big issue. I think the end of the season just being so dry is how I see it is that the player base at the end of the season drops off. Like, let's say they drop off, I don't know, 10% of the player base. And then I feel like the new season brings back that 5% again, So it's like you're losing a few that will never come back each time we go through this huge dry spell. And that's what worries me because, and same with you, you need this game to succeed in order to keep that viewership that hopefully you will eventually just move over to a different game once this one dies. But to get that big head start is important, if you had that 10,000 and then when you bring it over to another game, because I've seen you tweet about this, you're going to drop quite a bit because that's just how it works. But
Hmm.
that's just life. You have to move that audience over, and this game needs to build and keep on building. Um, I don't know. Is there anything else that you can really expand on? Like, what was the content like with Fortnite? I've personally never played Fortnite. Is it where it's consistent updates all the time, or what is
Oh,
it that has
dude.
us?
Oh my God, Fortnite! There will never be a game that mirrors the amount of content output that Fortnite put out. I mean, you could hate it. You could talk, however you want about Fortnite. You could hate it. You could say everyone sweats on that game. You could say it's childish, but there will never, ever, ever be a game that pumped out the content that Fortnite did. I think they were updating their item shop. I mean, it wasn't even. It's not like they were adding new game modes every week, which they almost were. They were adding new game modes. I would probably say, once every 2 weeks or month possibly. They would come out with these sick in-game events. Their
Mhm.
item shop would update every week, and it would be new skins. It wouldn't be recolors. It wouldn't be recycled. It would be completely new skins. It was pretty much a tidal wave of content since they had their. I mean, season zero was nothing in Fortnite. Season one was kind of big. Season two, yeah, and then like season three dropped, and they were dropping like golf carts. They were dropping dance moves. They were dropping all that cool stuff, and it just brought everyone. Like I remember riding on golf carts, fighting another team on a golf cart with four of my boys, and we were all emoting and like dancing and shooting at people and laughing our ass off. Like there has never been anything in Apex that has been that cool in my mind, and it just goes to show that the amount of content in Apex pales in comparison to Fortnite.
So do you think your expectations are too high then?
Absolutely not. No, because
Okay.
no. I mean, I've been pretty level headed with how I've approached about talking about Apex and content. I used to not be, and then I got big, so I was like, all right, I can't exactly say all the things that I want to say all the time, just because
Uh-huh.
it's not the best look bashing the game that I play.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's fair for me to say that Apex simply doesn't put out the content that their community deserves.
And do you think that that Apex is the best game you've played or no?
I would say it is in some aspects. I mean, obviously Apex changed my life, so that's great.
Uh-huh.
I would say the gunplay in Apex is so amazing. The movement in Apex is so amazing. It's a great game base level, but there just needs to be more because I've been playing the base level game and enjoying that part of it. Just grappling with Pathfinder down a hill is just amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't that there's no game that mirrors that at all. But I mean, after playing it for so long, you just need more. That's what keeps the customer base satisfied is more game modes, more skins, whatever it may be. Like cool end game screens. I don't know. I've had the same end game screen for a year and a half now. Like it'd be cool to do emotes after you win a game with your team or something like that. They could put voice lines on the end game. I mean, just like little things that show effort and show the fact that they're trying to at least improve the content would be great.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Let's go ahead to like the basic questions that everyone wants to know people's opinions on. What do you think of SBMM?
Skill based matchmaking. I think the thing is, it was so big. Like everyone was talking about it. How long ago was it? I mean, it's still pretty talked about, but when was it when it kind of blew up?
Yeah, I feel like season 3 they made some kind of change to it where it was just everyone started complaining about it nonstop.
Yeah, I saw it all over Twitter all the time, and it was just people complaining about it. And so usually I would say it's mainly the good players that are complaining about it because they have to fight other good players in public match lobbies, which is pretty much just ranked in a public match, which isn't what you want. But me personally, I've really never like cared. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's kind of just my opinion on it. I mean, like if I get killed by a kid in a public match because he's matched with me and he's a predator and he has 25,000 kills on path and I get killed by him. Like, why would I complain about that? I should have just killed him. I should have just been better than him. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to fight bots all the time. I mean, it's nice to have like a big game and fight a bunch of bots, but I mean, I don't think SBMM has ever factored too much into what tilts me at all.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. And when the devs talk about SBMM, that's one thing I actually agree with them on completely. Is that the new players, especially when I was a new player to the game and I hadn't played FPS for quite a while, it's no fun to never win. And so I understand where they say that retention for the players is better if the SBMM is turned up like it is, and so it's definitely like it costs the people at the top like yourself, but there's an easy explanation for it. I think myself, I get punished the most for it because I'm at that level where I'm like a diamond player, and so
Mhm.
I get teamed with all the predators. And they three stack now, and so it's just horrible. I had to go find Apex Predator streamers to play with me if I want to even get a win. It's horrible for me, but I
Yeah.
understand it. It's very frustrating. Okay, the other big topic that everyone loves to hear about, especially because you're a controller player, aim
Hmm.
assist.
Aim
what do you
assist.
what do you think
Aim
of aim
assist.
assist?
Um, There's a lot to say about it, but my completely honest opinion is that mouse and keyboard has a plethora of more advantages than controller. I mean,
Hmm.
just an absolute like I have died so many times in a death box trying to armor swap or just loot because I'm
Hmm.
standing still. I have died thousands of times. It's a battle royale. Dying is everything. If you die, you die. You go back to the lobby. M&K has so many more advantages. And aim assist is so small in Apex compared to other games. It really is.
Hmm.
Fortnite, Warzone, it simply doesn't even compare to other games. Apex aim assist is very minimal. And the only reason they complain about it is because they're fighting the best controller players that have all switched to PC from PS4 or Xbox. The large majority of the top players on PS4 Switch, they're fighting the best players on controller. It's not little Timmy 12-year-old with boogers in his nose with a controller. It's Daltoosh, it's Kobe, it's Noct, it's all of us. It's gonna be hard to kill us, and it's not just because we have a controller. You know what I'm saying? We're good at the game. We know how to play the game. We have decent movement, but they have way better movement, and they can do things that we couldn't even dream of. So I think they need to shut up. That's my
Uh-huh.
opinion. It's
Yeah.
annoying. It's super annoying. Like, I don't care because, like, all the time, every time I kill, let's say, let's give an example, throw them under the bus here. Hal or Alberlelli. If I kill them at all, what do they say? They say I got controllered,
Yeah.
which essentially discredits my whole career and my whole gaming past as a gamer that I've been playing FPS games for probably 12 plus years. I've always been good at every single one of them. And they just say I got controllered, and it completely discredits all of my skill, all of my practice, all of the work I've put in.
Mhm.
And so, but I don't really care that much. It's just a meme. It's kind of funny. But like at the same time, they say it every time. Every
Yeah.
single time they get killed by a controller player, they say it, and it's like, all right, shut up. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying. I'm not a controller player myself, um, but I did like try to get the aim assist numbers to try to help with that argument. So we know that PC is not as strong as console. We also know that uh, the effect on it is not where it just slows. A lot of people say, well, it slows your sensitivity down, and it actually is called magnet. So there is a magnet that it will attach to a person. It's stronger for the chest. I've seen the numbers for the head. It has different numbers. It's very interesting to look at the code. But I agree with you. That's one of the things is that we have these big voices in the community, TSM players, all the top streamers, and a lot of them are keyboard and mouse. And so when they complain about something, then it just gets repeated. And
Hmm.
it's the same when people complain about SBMM. A lot of people don't even understand what SBMM is, and they'll complain about it. Like there'll be some bad player who's complaining about SBMM. It's like, dude, you don't understand. SBMM's protecting you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And another thing about aim assist, I'm not gonna say that as a controller player that I could completely be the same level of talent without aim assist.
Hmm.
Controller players need it because we are aiming with a little plastic stick. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It
Yeah.
is much tougher to aim without aim assist on a plastic stick than compared to, your whole arm with a mouse pad and a nice mouse that glides around like a spaceship on your table, and you get to aim and flick and, do those little micro adjustments, all
Yep.
that stuff. Controller players need aim assist. I do too. But to say it's completely OP and ridiculous, and that's the only reason we ever get kills on these good players is stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Micro adjusting obviously is not going to be very easy on something like that. I agree with you. Aim assist is needed. I actually think in this game it's pretty balanced because we don't see controller players dominating every game. We've seen TSM win the most out of any team, and none of them were on controller. And but what do you think about the stuff that Hal says when he switches over to controller for a tournament? And they actually did win the tournament, the week or whatever, when him and Aberlelli switched over to controllers. What do you think about that?
Well, they both played on controller in their past. It's not like they picked up a controller for the first time on Apex and then got that good. They knew how to play on controller. And here's the thing: the um the base level skill for someone picking up a controller is going to be much higher for someone who just picks up M and K and tries to play a game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you give a 15-year-old a mouse and keyboard, he's going to be terrible, really bad for like probably a month. If you give a 15-year-old controller, he's going to be not that bad by the end of the day,
Yeah.
but it takes a lot more work to be in that extremely high percentile of controller players like I would consider myself in. That's when the skill differential is there. But when Hal plays, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's not a bad controller player, and he probably never has been. He's a natural gamer. He knows what he's doing. He has all the in-game IQ. He's just playing on a different input that he is familiar with. So that's what makes him good at it. And you got to give him respect. He's definitely a talented controller player and very talented MMK player as well.
Yeah, it is kind of cool that he's so good on both. What would you say? Because you've made the switch over to computer. What would you say to people who are debating if they should move over to computer or not?
I think it's a really personal, it varies case to case. The reason I switched is because PC has it just offers more in terms of tournaments, in terms of exposure, in terms of everything. It does offer more. I mean, when you're on PS4, you just don't get I feel like you don't get noticed as much.
Hmm.
But I mean, if you have the money for a PC and it's not like something that will hold you back or cost you a lot, or you have what it takes to switch to PC, I mean, feel free. It's just a better it's a better gaming experience overall. I mean, the frame rate, the crispiness. I remember when I first switched, I was like, "Oh, man, it's so nice. It's so smooth. It's like butter." But I
Yeah.
mean, if you're just a casual gamer and you're fine with where you're at on PS4 or Xbox, like there's no need to switch. It's more of a want. It's more of a luxury. So I mean, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got it, go ahead. But if you don't, no stress.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty with your opinions that people don't always agree. What do you hate about Apex right now?
What do I hate about Apex? I think it's just stale right now. I mean, you said right now, so I'm gonna say it's
Yeah.
just super stale. I mean, when was the last update? I don't even know.
Oh, dude, it was probably 2 months ago.
It's just super stale. And for someone who plays it every single day, all the time, which I'm not complaining about that. I have a great job. However, I mean, like Revenant, there's no footsteps on him when he pulls up to third party you, and people do that all the time. Caustic camping, I don't know. It's just like stale. And when you do that day in and day out, it just gets annoying. You just want something new. So this
Yeah.
update will kind of bring that back a little bit until it kind of fades away again. But hopefully it'll be better this time. But there's no way to tell.
Yeah. And what do you think about what you've seen for season 6 so far?
Rampart. I don't know. I mean, like she's a defensive character, right? Can I say that? Is that true?
Yeah, defensive. Yep.
She's gonna be a defensive character. So I mean, it's gonna be nice to have a new legend to play. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. But I don't. I can't really pinpoint how she's gonna play out in ranked or competitive. But another defensive character is a little meh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to try to push the team out of a building that has a mounted turret behind three shields with caustic barrels around all the shields, and then maybe possibly a revenant totem for them to, push us back out on. So I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see. Like, I don't have a solid opinion on it until I see it in game and how it plays out.
What about not getting a new map? Was that a big thing for you or no?
I think it was more of a luxury for us to have. I mean, I kind of maybe thought we were getting a new map, but am I super sad that we're not? No, because they are making a lot of changes to World's Edge,
Mhm.
which is great. So that'll spice things up a bit, change up some rotations. New POIs are always good. So I think, however, I will say this: I think if we don't get a new map next season, they're gonna be in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I think like one of the things that they could do to just make it more interesting for people who play it every day is like dynamic weather or make it a nighttime or something where you're not staring at the same thing every single game that you drop. There's no variety in the game really, except for the RNG.
Yeah, and the RNG is very bad. It's so bad. Dynamic weather would be sick. I can't lie. I don't know if I would like rainy when you can't see, but I mean, yeah, it's just literally little things like that. It's just that it's tiny little adjustments or tweaks that make it more fun to play day in and day out all the time. Because when this update kind of fades away and we're like 3 weeks in, we're gonna be, running around looking for the next team to kill, and it'll hit you. You'll be like, damn, I'm bored again.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what.
what do I do?
Have you played Rogue Company or any of the new
Yeah,
games yet?
absolutely. I've been playing a lot of different games.
What do you think of Rogue Company?
I like Rogue. I mean, it's just that the thing is, like, I think I can speak for probably 90% of, streamers or competitive players on Apex Legends that main Apex, that we all need a break from it sometimes. And it's really nice and refreshing to just play any other game. I mean, I like Rogue. It's not too fast paced. I don't know, it's just satisfying to play the boxes, look at the third person. It's just different and it's fun. It's just new. So that's what makes it so nice and refreshing to play.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's unfortunate that it's not the kind of game with Apex, or at least not yet, that I see where it could have like content all the time or lore
Yeah,
or anything like that. But it is very refreshing. Do you have you played Among Us yet?
I have. I hate that game. I deleted it. I suck at it. I'm terrible at it.
Okay.
I deleted it.
What about Fall Guys?
Yeah, I've been playing Fall Guys a little bit. It's
And what'd you
fun.
think of that? It's fun. Did you win
It's
yet or
fun.
no?
Yeah, I won a few.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about if the R99 is care package?
Mm, I'm not really. I don't think it is that big of a deal. They're bringing a new gun in the game, the energy gun,
Yeah.
the Volt or whatever. So that'll probably take the R99's place. But the only thing I'm worried about if they vault the R99, put it in a care package, is Prowler meta. And by the way, Prowler is so much stronger than the R99 right now. It's ridiculous. And to
Hmm.
think that the Prowler could take the position of the R99 and people will be running that, three Prowlers on a team,
Yeah.
select fire or burst, that's going to be awful because the Prowler is so strong.
And what do you think about the meta with Revenant right now?
I think it's terrible. I think it gives bad players the ability to kill good players when they have no business even touching us or breaking our shields. It gives them a free push. There's little to no sound on their footstep audio when they're in the ghost form or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Um, but I think it gives bad players a completely free push on a good team, possibly on a third party. They'll hit the Revenant totem, they'll run up, try to get picks. A lot of the time it works out because you can't hear them.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any aim assist on the shadows as well.
Really?
I don't think so. There's definitely less. So, I mean, yeah, you can kill them, but it's just so annoying. It's just the most annoying thing to deal with. And there's no range on the totem, so they can put it down wherever and then just run around in it. So I think it basically is a crutch for players who, would never win a 3v3 against better players. They use that and it provides them with a pretty much free, unconsequential push.
Yeah.
And they get to just get sent back and heal up if they want.
Well, how did they fix Revenant then? Because the problem with Revenant when he first came out is he was stupid. His ultimate was a detriment, I think, to a team to use. So how do they fix him now?
I don't know. I think the unlimited range on the totem is a little bit excessive. I
Uh
think
huh.
maybe they should just probably go in between where it was at the beginning and now,
Okay.
so they can't just run around freely. But I haven't thought too much about it. I remember I don't know, someone gave me a good suggestion the other day, but I forgot it. I don't really know how they fix it. That's not on my pay grade, my friend. I just play.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just something, just a tweak. I'm not sure. I mean, footstep audio would be amazing. Like if you could hear them from far away, like a bloodhound ult,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like if they were breathing heavy or doing some like demonic sounds as they were coming up in the shadow
That's a good
form, like
idea.
that'd be great. Like anything, like an audio cue, so I could at least know that we're getting thirded by revs instead of turning around to three ghosts and they just melt you. Like it's so stupid.
And who else needs to be nerfed? Is there anyone else that you think needs to be nerfed right now or no?
Um, I would say Caustic is super super strong. I wouldn't know how they would nerf him really. I remember when Caustic meta was the thing for I think it was the beginning of this season on Kings Canyon.
Hmm.
Caustic meta, there was a Caustic on every team, and he really is a strong character, but he's kind of fallen off of the meta, I guess.
Yeah.
He's really strong. I don't know how they would nerf him. I think maybe his ultimate could be nerfed a bit, as opposed to him just being able to throw it at you like a football and it blows up and then you're instantly dead because you can't do anything. You get stunned, damaged, and you can't see, and he can see
Yeah.
you. I think there could be a timer, sort of like a Gibby ult, but not necessarily that long. Maybe like he throws it and it goes and it beeps a couple times and then blows up, as opposed to it. It's pretty much a free kill. If you throw an ultimate at someone, it's a free kill if you want to use it all on the offensive. And on the
Yeah.
defensive, it's so strong. I mean, he has the four traps. He'll probably, by the time the first one gets shot, he'll have another one that's on cooldown, so he can just replace that behind a door. And then if all the traps get shot out and there's no more gas, he just gets to throw his ultimate. And
Yeah.
then they can sit in there for so much longer. I mean, it's just such an annoying character, and I would like to see a change to it, perhaps, but I don't really know what they could do. And also, they do need to bring Pathfinder's grapple maybe down to like 25 seconds for
Yeah.
sure.
I agree with you on that. What about Octane? How can they make Octane useful?
I don't think like if they. I mean, he could be. He's never gonna be in competitive just because of the way the character is. Like that's
Yeah.
just simple. Like he's just not going to be a competitive character regardless of what they do to him. His base level character is He's just fast and he has a bounce pad. He's super fun for pubs. He's great, but he will never find his way to competitive. I think if they like buffed his stim a little bit to where he was like actually insanely fast, you know what I'm saying? Like way too fast. That would be
Mhm.
sick. And you might see him in ranked a little bit, but he just his base level character is just not. It doesn't mirror what competitive takes. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. We're gonna take some questions from the chat. Um, let's see. What does touche mean in your name?
Um, my name is Dalton.
Mhm.
And when we were in high school, we would speak in accents for like extended periods of time for no reason, just because we're like a bunch of clowns and we would just speak in different accents. And so one
Mhm.
of my friends just turned Dalton into Daltoosh, and that's bang. That's literally it.
Wow. Why do
Touche
you?
doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. There you go, chat. It means nothing. That's the best answer right there. Why do
Yeah.
you think that TSM went with aim assist on the tourney? And do you think that pros um, doing that will get aim assist nerfed? Do you think like all the complaining by them will get it nerfed eventually?
No, I don't think so at all. If aim assist was that strong, you would see controller players winning tournaments, and they don't. There's only been like one controller team, which is my friends, Designful in them. I don't
Do
think
you?
that it doesn't need a nerf. It's fine where it's at. Like controller players aren't dominating the game whatsoever. So
Yeah. Do you think that everyone complaining though will get it to the point where it might get nerfed or no?
no, I don't think
No.
so. I could
Okay.
that could just be wishful thinking, but I think if you're complaining about aim assist, just get better. You have so many more advantages than us. Just literally get better. Just don't die to us. It's really easy.
What do you think are some of the things that need to be added to improve on the? I mean, this is kind of obvious thing, but on the pro scene, because obviously we see like ACU leave, we see Dizzy leave, we see a lot of the big people leave. Do you think that it's because? I mean, I think the obvious answer is because there's just not enough money, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough money. A COVID vaccine would be great to get things back on track in the real
Hmm.
world, but there's just not enough money. And I don't think there was beforehand either. I really don't think the tournaments were coming even close to the bigger esport games that you see with like Fortnite. They have like weekly online tournaments and stuff like that for, X amount of dollars. That is so much more than Apex would muster up for like a grand final. So I think more money would. I don't know. I don't know who to like get mad at for that. I don't know if it's EA. I don't know if it's Respawn, but it's just like this game. This game's competitive scene is just simply not up to par with those at the top of the esport realm.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Um, what do you think is something that needs to be done for the devs to bring more players to Apex?
More updates.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah.
Super simple. More updates, more content. Like it's so easy. It's not easy to do, but it's a very simple answer. They need to crank the content up like 3 notches.
And then have you ever? I don't know if I've ever seen you tweet about it, but since you played Fortnite, they had creator codes over there, right? What about
Yeah.
Apex having creator codes? Do you think that's a big deal or no?
I think it would be cool. I think it'd be cool. I don't think it would bring a player base back or anything like that. I think it would be a nice. It would be again. It's just little. It's so many little things that they could do. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah,
imagine if they had like gun skin, like TSM gun skins, or a TSM like Pathfinder skin and stuff like that. I know it's hard to do, and there's a lot of contractual stuff that goes on behind the scenes with that. But that's kind of their job, and that's what they're there for. And they're trying to, if they want to make the best game possible, they have to go the extra mile with content
yeah.
and make their player base happy.
And okay, so you have obviously turned streaming into a full time career. Do you suggest other people who are trying to pursue the same thing keep at it, or what would you tell them?
I'll start with this. If I didn't see growth when I saw growth, so like early on, I wouldn't have done it because I would have been completely. I mean, I actually I streamed Fortnite and I streamed Blackout, and I was very good at both of those games. And I never saw growth, and I wasn't necessarily happy, but I was just streaming and playing because I like to play video games, so I was streaming for fun. And if you're doing streaming for fun, that's totally fine. If you're not expecting to have it as a full-time job, you know, good for you. Keep doing that. That's great. Have a little community. Doesn't matter. Viewership doesn't matter if you're doing it for fun. But I don't think you could go into streaming like consciously telling yourself that you're gonna make it a full-time job. I think you just need to do it. And if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
but it's not easy, and it's full time streaming is not for everybody. You like there's some personalities out there, and there's some people that like people don't want to watch everyone. They want to watch who they want to watch because of like either A, they're really good at the game, or B, they're super funny or super entertaining, or they're both. And I hate to break it to you, but not everyone has the ability to bring that to the table.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Not everyone has it to be an entertainer for one. That's to be in, and I think a lot of people don't understand how much stress goes behind that, how much work you have to put into it, the hours. While it may seem like he's just playing a game, it is a lot of work, right? Doesn't it still feel like work at times for you?
Sometimes it does. There's sponsored things that I have to do, and that's the only time it feels like work. At this point in my streaming career, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's not very stressful. I love what I do. But a lot of people will take that and they'll kind of forget about what it took to get to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because I was
Yeah,
not always this big. It wasn't always fun. I was playing probably 15 hours a day at the beginning of this game, which is so unhealthy. I lost like 20 pounds and I weigh 150. Like I was like 130. I looked like I had just gotten out of the hospital. Like
uh,
I was putting in 15 hours a day. My sleep schedule was terrible. I dropped out of college. I completely discredited all my classes. I sacrificed everything to put in the time to where I could actually be number one on the leaderboard and get notoriety from that. And then, see growth afterwards.
yeah. I think that has to do like a lot with what Nock did when he did his crazy grind for first place. He had to put in insane hours, but it was a grind that paid off. It's
Exactly.
that same kind of thing. If you can do something to really make yourself stand out, that's a big thing. If Apex died today, which game would you switch to?
Died today, like right
Yeah,
now.
right now, dead.
Um, what's out? We got Rogue. We got Warzone. Warzone's big, and I kind of wish I stuck with it because the fan base is simply so much bigger. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
so much
enormous.
bigger, and the money is so much higher than Apex.
Hmm.
I kind of wish I played it more and before going back to Apex, but I didn't. I would probably switch to either Warzone or what else is out? Rogue, Warzone. Is that it for shooters that are big? Kind of. Rogue isn't even big.
Valorant,
Valorant, no, I wouldn't be big at that. I would probably have to say Warzone.
a Hypescape or whatever it's called, Hyperscape.
Yeah, Hyperscape, it kind of died in viewership, but I mean, it's still fun. I love the game. It's a really fun game. But if I
Yes,
had to pick one that would be, beneficial not only to, me having fun, but also, paying the bills, I would definitely
yeah,
say Warzone.
yeah. Um, let's see. Any questions, chat, that you have for Daltouche or I? Please ask him. We'll be answering for like next 10 minutes. What keeps you
I did play
motivated?
Titanfall 2, by the way.
What's that?
I did play Titanfall 2, Remy. It was good. It's really fun.
Yes, it is good, huh? Titanfall
Very
2
good
is a
game.
really cool game. The campaign's
Yeah,
amazing.
we used to run some I don't remember when it was. I think it was when I was on PS4, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe when we all switched to PC, but I would get like 12 to 16 of like the sweaty PS4 Apex kids, like all of like the kids that I play with that like are talented gamers, and we would run custom lobbies on Titanfall 2, and it was so fun.
Yeah. What so some people are asking, why did you choose the Benz?
When I choose the what?
The Mercedes Benz.
Oh, the bands. I don't know. I feel like it's like the Nike of cars to me. I've always
Yeah.
enjoyed the look of it. It's very, it's sleek, it's clean, it's professional. And that's just, I mean, I never even really looked at any other brands. I know that's kind of stupid, but that's kind of just what I gravitated towards naturally.
Yeah. Let's see another question here. That Kobe wants to know, what is my go-to meal? Is that what Kobe said? My go-to
Yeah,
meal would
that's a good question.
I mean, my go-to meal, dude. Okay, so since you started to bring up like the Five Guys stuff, I was like, all right, you know what? DoorDash has Five Guys. I started ordering Five Guys. Dude, Five Guys burgers and fries are so good. I'm not gonna lie. I just wish the price was like in and out.
Yeah, dude, I know. But Five Guys, bro. Oh my God, like
It's so good.
it's so damn good.
And those
So
fries, man.
good.
I don't know.
I
Those
know.
fries are like, they feel like you're at a restaurant.
They're solid. They're solid. Five Guys is my number one spot on burgers for sure.
What about your number one meal, period?
Hmm, that's tough. That's really tough. It depends on the mood. Like I love a good like simple pasta. You know what I'm saying? Like a lemon butter pasta with maybe like some shrimp and like a
Oh, you're
glass of
fancy.
wine
Oh my god.
with like some bread with olive oil and seasoning,
And
something like that. Or on like the opposite spectrum, I could go like with a nice like 16-ounce fillet with
mhm.
like some mashed potatoes and some asparagus, perhaps.
Kobe said you eat really fancy. You got
Of
mac and
course,
cheese and you got all this fancy stuff.
of course, of course.
Did you eat all that while you're in like a bubble bath and candles lit everywhere
Absolutely
or
not.
what?
No, I
No.
eat it right in front of myself. I stuff my face on stream and then I keep playing.
Do you have we have Nicewick's mom in chat. She wants to know if you have any siblings.
What's up, Mama Wig? Yeah, I have two siblings. I have two older sisters. One recently got married like 7 months ago. She is how old is she? She is 30 years old, and then the other one is I think 34. So I have two older sisters. The oldest one has a kid. His name is Theo. That's my nephew. He's super cute. And I just recently moved to Austin, and my sister closest in age to me, the 30-year-old, also lives here as well. So we've been going getting lunch together, stuff like that. So it's nice to be around family and have that option available.
How's Austin so far? Like, what do you think of it? I know you probably can't explore like you want to right now, but
I mean, it's really nice. I've been here like 5 times visiting my sister before I moved here, and I loved it.
mhm.
That's why I ended up coming here. But I mean, yeah, with the pandy right now, you just can't do it. Like, there's no bars open. I mean, there's the food, man. Jesus Christ, the food in Austin is insane. I mean, I've been to so many restaurants recently, and every time I'm just blown away by the food. So I love the food. The bar scene is awesome, but you just can't go right now because of
Yeah.
current situations.
And isn't
But I mean, I
Austin
love
like a
it.
little bit of a tech town too?
What you mean, like Texas Tech?
No, no, like technology.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin's a very booming tech town. I think it's like if you look up Austin and like the statistics of it, it's like one of the fastest growing cities in the US right now. And it's mainly like people my age, give or take, like 4 years. Like a lot of young, successful people are starting to move to Austin.
Yeah.
My sister works at Facebook, so she's doing that. They have
Oh,
like
nice.
a Facebook HQ here. They have a TikTok HQ here. It is a very tech savvy town, I guess you could say.
And I think we had some of the we have for whatever reason I have a lot of girl gamer girls in my community, and they want to know, do you have any current lovely interests?
Love interests.
Yeah.
Um, no, not. And I wouldn't say love. I would say there's a lot of lust in the air, but
Oh, there's a lot of lust.
I don't. Yeah, I do not. Yeah, I have no. I have no desire to be in a relationship right now whatsoever.
Well, and especially in the situation we're in, it kind of makes it hard
Yeah,
to
no.
date.
And relationships are way too much work. I'm not doing that.
Chat like your answer there. I think that's pretty much wraps it up. Chad, can you think of any other Apex stuff that we may not have covered? I think we covered pretty much everything, right?
What up, chat?
Chat, you got any more questions for Daltoosh while we have his attention? Dude, I had to pay top dollar to get this attention for an hour. So Kobe wants to
Yeah, a
know
lot of
what
money.
yeah, I had to, and that Mercedes pretty much it's on my card. Best map or season, Kobe?
Oh, dang, that's a good question, Cove. It's a good question. I think I'm not going to say best map or season. I'm just going to kind of spin the question to where I think I was enjoying Apex the most. Is that fair? Does that seem fair?
That's fair. That's very fair.
I would say I don't remember what my memory is so bad, but I think when I was on PS4 and World's Edge just got released, I think that was when I was having the most fun on Apex.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that the hype that the new map brought, for one, I don't know why it feels like this, but I do not feel hyped up for this new season like I did all the other seasons. Is that just me, or do you feel the same way?
No, I literally tweeted that verbatim. I just said I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, but
Usually
has it? Was it like last season? Did you feel hyped up for it, or is it just this season, or what?
what was last season? Like I don't even remember what came out. Was it Loba and then the new changes to Kings Canyon? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
Or that's what it was? I think I mean, I will say the excitement has been deteriorating over time for sure.
yeah,
But I mean it's nice, like it is what it is, like I know deep down that I will be disappointed in 3 weeks with how stale Apex is again.
Yep.
And that is the way it is. But a new season, it's just great for, not only my mental and playing this game all the time, but it's also good for my job. It's good for everyone that plays the game. It's good for the fans. Like it's just gonna bring some nice, refreshing content, a little something else to do, little differences here and there. It's just it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice for the time being.
Who's the best player in Apex Soar?
Me, the fuck?
Yeah. if you had if you had to 1v1 everyone else, who would win that? You easy?
I don't know. I've gotten way worse. I used to be a lot better, but I mean, like we have some really talented players in Soar, so I mean, we're all
Kobe?
really good. We would all smack each other up in 1v1s. It's pretty even.
Kobe said 100% you were Calamity.
Oh no, Cal is disgusting. Cal
Is-
is literally so damn good at Apex. It makes me sick, bro. He is so good. He's way better than me. Like way better than me.
Has he been playing in pro tournaments or no?
No, he just kind of grinds pubs. He recently switched to M&K, and he is disgusting on it too.
That's nasty.
Yeah, he's so good. If you guys don't know who Calamity is, you got to check him out. He is nasty.
What is your favorite LTM? And this is gonna be the last one. We'll go ahead and do here.
Third person was so sick.
Really?
It was amazing. Yeah, I
Is
loved
that
it.
is
It
that
was
just
so
because
cool.
is that just because you're a Fortnite guy? Is that why?
No, it was just so different. It was like a new game. It was so fun. If they brought that back, I'd be so happy. It was literally so exciting to play that.
What about you? I thought the train was like the most refreshing thing to be able to drop into like a death match.
Yeah, that was nice. It was a refreshing spin off of like what we're used to, the BR kind of thing. It was kind of like a TDM arcade kind of game.
Yeah, I really
That
like
was fun. That was fun, but I did not play it that much.
Well, I don't want to take any more of your time up. I appreciate you, Kobe, Pooch, you guys hanging out in here. I appreciate that. Daltoosh is a big deal having you on here, so I really appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me for an hour. Any last things you want to say to everyone, or we can end it here?
Shout out to all the people in chat. Thanks for supporting. I appreciate y'all being here today. ALGS, thank you for having me, man. Really appreciate it. This was great. Nice and refreshing to talk to someone for a little bit about Apex in the future and whatnot. And I'm always open to do this again. So, if you ever want to have me on for a second time, I'm here.
All right, man. I appreciate that, dude. All right, chat. We're gonna go
Absolutely.
ahead and end it here. I got some food waiting for me, and I could tell Daltouche is digging into his already.
Yep.
I was like, this motherfucker's eating right now. I can tell.
Yeah, a little bit of chicken in front of me. I had to take a bite or two. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Give Daltouche a love. I love seeing the touche bags in chat too. That's awesome.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, guys. I will catch you all later today when I stream again. Dal, you have a good day, man. I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Peace out.